Ciao belli! Oggi vi faccio un video tutto in italiano. Haha, I'm only joking, unless you really want me to do it at some point. As I mentioned in my previous video, today I'll be ranking the temple bosses from my list to my most favourite. Bosses are always the last thing you'll experience in a dungeon, and a good way to cap off some tricky puzzle solving. The bosses in Tears of the Kingdom are no exception, and I was really happy to see the variety compared to Breath of the Wild and the Ganon Blights. I had good fun beating these bosses and found some more challenging than others, so let's have a look at them. Number 5. Maktorok, Water Temple. Now, let me tell you this, I love a good cleaning session, and there was nothing more rewarding than getting hydrants out to clean all the mess around this boss. It would have worked better if I placed the hydrants properly and not dropped them in a panic and made something that could have been really powerful against this boss really useless. Anyhow, I found this boss rather frustrating. A, because of getting stuck in the mud, and 2, because it was really slippery and bouncing all over the place, which made it quite difficult getting more than a couple of hits in. What really helped me here was having some splash fruit, which I'd attach to my bow and strike the mad shark with. Once the shark is down, you can tackle the boss. Again, as per point 2, it was quite hard getting a lot of hits in. One thing that was an absolute lifesaver was the fact that we have anti-gravity up in this temple, meaning that we could jump high enough to activate bullet time and stun him with an arrow. I did eventually manage to defeat it, and it felt really good, especially because I have a massive dislike of Octoroks, so beating this boss felt satisfying on 2 levels. I also felt the urge to go and have a shower after this fight. Number 4. Sea's Construct, Spirit Temple. Once you get to the Spirit Temple, you're greeted by the original construct Mineru built. You're stuck in a ring full of gloom with electric fences around it. You're clearly meant to fight this boss while on Mineru's construct back, to avoid the gloom and also try to push the boss construct against the fence for maximum damage. If you don't make my mistake of not equipping your construct with weapons, this fight should be easy. But, as I wasn't that prepared, I had to do my best with what I had. I finally managed to beat this boss and get the spirit tier. Maybe it's because of the fact that I made a rookie mistake and didn't prepare my construct properly, but this boss made number 4 on my list. I found it relied too much on a gimmick, and I preferred to be able to use my own weapons as opposed to rely on the Zonai machines. Number 3. Marble Goma, Fire Temple. Now, this boss took me down a trip to memory lane, as it's a take on the first boss from Ocarina of Time. It wasn't super difficult to defeat, but it was good fun. I especially enjoyed the first stage, where you need to use Yunobo and destroy its rock legs. The second phase is a bit more challenging. I think you're supposed to shoot Yunobo up the curved walls, so it charges across the ceiling and smashes its legs, but I can never manage to hit its legs this way, so instead I settle for shooting its eye with my trusty bow and arrow. You do still need to use Yunobo to smash the rocks it surrounds you with though. I'm ranking this at number 3 because it's a take on a very classic Zelda boss, and I like the satisfying smashing you get to do by firing Yunobo off like a cannonball. Number 2. Golguera, Wind Temple. This is the first boss I fought out of them all, and even though it's not the most challenging one, I really loved it. Wanna have a guess on why I loved it? Yeah, because I really enjoy a bow and arrow job. There is something so satisfactory in shooting its weak points until they break down. Mid-air slow-mo arrows are always really fun to pull off successful hits with. The second phase is trickier as there are tornadoes around it, but didn't make it too challenging to finally pull out the win. I think the visual surprise factor of these bosses what really elevates it for me. As much as I love Breath of the Wild, I did find the bosses were very similar from an aesthetic standpoint, and I was really hoping to see more variety here. Once I saw that giant beast rise up out of the Wind Temple, I knew we were in safe hands, and I was going to get an epic fight. For all of these reasons, this was my second favourite boss encounter. Number 1. Queen Gibdo, Lightning Temple. I love this boss, especially the surprise of having to fight it at the very beginning when reaching the temple. I feel that was a nice and unexpected touch. I found this the most challenging out of them all, especially during the second phase where not only you need to try and get hits on the queen, but you're also surrounded by Gibdos falling out of the nests. Needless to say, it was bedlam. Regis Lightning will work a treat here, especially during the second phase, as by shooting arrows when lightning is on, you can hit a bunch of Gibdos, the nests and the queen all at once. I also love the challenge of having to be quick at getting your hits in, which fit in well with the mayhem. Definitely the most mechanically complex of all the boss fights. I love the chaos and this is why it made it to number 1 on my list. So that's it, that's my list of temple bosses. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Babza Jr. here, thanks for watching and ciao for now.